Hello everyone. In this video we will see the function in PHP. We will discuss functions in PHP. So coming to IDE and create a new file here and save it as function.php. Now the basic syntax of PHP. Saving this. So functions in PHP are two types, like built-in functions and user-defined functions. Built-in functions are those functions which are already provided by PHP, which we can use directly in our code. But user-defined functions are those functions which we have to provide definition first and then call them in order to use them. So we will see the basic syntax of this uh, function, user-defined function. I will name this function as my function and these parentheses code here. So this is the basic syntax of this function, how to define function in PHP. In order to all the code in function, we have to write that very code here. For example, I am writing here echo message and I am user defined functions defined function. So this next step is we have to call this function. Now coming to the browser, we will see, we will refresh this page and we will see I'm a user defined function. Now what is a function? First we will discuss this. Function is a block of code that is used to do some specific task. Like I have defined this function here, my function. From here to here, I have defined this function. Its task is to print on the screen I am user defined function. This is a sample program, so the task assigned to this function is to print on screen I am user defined function. Now we will see some this inbuilt function like PHP info is an inbuilt function. So we will come to browser and see. This is the result of first function which we have defined, I am user defined function, and this is the result of second function which is inbuilt function in PHP. So coming to IDE, this was about how to define a function and how to call a function, actually a user defined function. So we have seen how to create a function, and one thing about the function is that function name is not case sensitive. We have named this function as my function and all here is in small letters. We can call this as like this, and coming to browser we will see the same result is here. So this means that the name of function is not case sensitive, it is case insensitive. So this was a basic example of functions in PHP. Now we will see the function arguments. Like I will define a variable here. First I will use the dollar sign, and this function, my function, takes the argument s here, and I will call this function with name parameter. We will give a string parameter here to this function name, and this name value will be stored in this variable. So here in the echo statement we will see, we'll print the message, the parameter is $s. So now we will remove this inbuilt function in order to make output more clear. So coming to browser and refreshing the page, we will see the parameter is name. So if we pass two parameters like 10 and comma here with dollar of p, here we can give a message, and second parameter is dollar of p. So coming to browser and we will see the result, and the second parameter is 10. So this is how to pass parameters to functions in PHP. Now we will see the default parameter. For example, in here inside this function I am creating a variable here s equals 10, and I am calling this function. First I will remove this here from here. So if I am calling this function without any parameter, then default value 10 will be assigned to this variable s, and 10 will be printed on the screen. First we will save this code and we will see on the browser what is the result. The parameter is 10. As you can see there, I have passed no parameter to this function, but it takes the default parameter. If I will copy this code and paste it 3 times. $20 and $30. Now here we will give some another message, echo message, to make the output in different lines. So whenever this function is called, 2 echo statements will be printed on screen. First is this, the parameter is some value, and the second echo statement just gives the HTML break in the output. So saving this and coming to browser and see, the parameter is 10, parameter is 20, and parameter is 30. So as you can see, in the first case I have passed no parameter, but it takes the default value of the parameter. But in the second case I have passed 20, so 20 is assigned to the variable s, and it is printed on the screen. And in the third case I have passed 30, and 30 is printed on the screen. So we have seen how to pass a default argument in PHP works. Now we will see the function returning some value. So I will remove this from here, and actually I will create a new function. Return values, and then first we will see the output here, return values. Then the next code will be displayed here below this return values. So I will create a function new function. One thing you have to remember, that the name of function is not case sensitive, it is case insensitive. We will pass 2 parameters here. First I will write echo statement $of s1 plus $of s2. I will pass this s1 comma s2. Now I will call this function. I will copy this function name from here, and I will call this function with 10 comma 20 in first case, and in the second case I will call this function as C plus plus. We will see the result on the browser. On line 14. So what's happened on line 14 is dollar of s1 dollar of s1, dollar of s2. You can see the return value is 30. And now in this case I will call this function as you have seen in strings we have to type a dot here. String doesn't work for plus operator, so that is why it showed me error on the browser. So in case of strings we have to pass something like we have to write here dot. $30 and $50. Let us see on the browser what happens. So this is showing 30 plus 80 is equal to 30 plus 50 is equal to 80. So this was about how to pass parameters to function, and we will see the return value. Actually we will store this value in S3, and we will return S3 from here. And S5 now we will echo S4 equal to dollar of S4 dollar of S5. So we will provide an HTML break here. Now coming to the browser, we will see S4 equal to 30 and S5 equal to 80. This is how to return value from functions in PHP. This was all about functions in PHP. Please like and share this video and subscribe to my channel Technophile. Thank you.